Hello, Bigfoot enthusiast. Scott here from Squatch America.
And Hannah, the very tired and frazzled domestic goddess in the paddy wagon.
And we're here. Kinda, sorta, wanna be, barely.
But we can mark ourselves safe from the Alabama tornado, and that's a plus.
Yes, because a week ago we went through,
A week?
yeah, last week we went through, what was that? What town was that? They got hit by the tornado in Alabama. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And we beat that tornado. We drove through Tuscaloosa. 2 hours later, it got hit by a tornado. We were like 2 hours north of there. And then today we got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to leave on time so we could get ahead of the next storm. So we got to where we're at now.
And that's a great story, by the way, which I will tell you later.
In South Carolina, where we could, so we could outrun the storm. And then we got here and we're now, right now, sitting here during a thunderstorm and there's a tornado watch.
So, with that said, play our intro.
Alrighty, so that's our new intro, and yay.
We have all sorts of new stuff that we're sorting out right now. So,
Okay, so here's what's happened over the last couple times we've tried to get the she squatchers on with us. Internet's been a nightmare. So actually tonight we're testing a new streaming software that we're using. We were using a thing called OBS. Now we're using, and it says StreamYard.
Yeah, everyone geek out on that
up there, because we haven't paid for it because we're not sure if we're going to use it or not. But as soon as we figure out if we like it or not, we're going to probably get it, but so we can do more stuff with it. But it does a lot of stuff right now. But we got to end up with this little stream.
Nobody cares.
Yes, they do. I do.
They don't. No, they don't. So let's tell you, we just spent 6 days in Arley, Alabama.
Yes, we did.
At the biggest party spot in the state.
We did.
I don't think the powers that be know it's the biggest party spot.
It's okay. So we got.
So tell the story. This is hilarious.
This is kind of funny. Gosh, I forgot to turn that off. Anyway, you're gonna hear weird. So we get to this campground and we pull in and we get all hooked up and stuff. And it was late, so we decided we're gonna go to dinner. Little dinky town had
14 people in it.
Yeah, so they had like 2 restaurants. And so we went to the Mexican one because it's usually.
What can you do to Mexican?
Yeah. So we went to the Mexican.
They figured it out, by the way.
Yeah, we went to the Mexican restaurant, and I was looking at the menu, and the waitress came, and I ordered the food, and she asked what we wanted to drink, and I asked, "Do you have beer?" And she said, "No, we don't serve alcoholic beverages." So me not thinking about it too much, I said, "Oh, okay. So, Dr. Pepper it is." But later on, we noticed something in the little convenience grocery store that we were in.
Most convenience stores, of course, are like 6 coolers, 6 refrigerators full of every cheap and not so cheap beer on the planet, and Doritos and mouthwash. And that's what you get at a convenience store.
Right. And we went in the convenience store and there was no alcohol. And then it dawned on me.
They never left the prohibition.
We're in a dry county. So dry counties still exist. I forgot about that there are some places in the South that do. I think there's 14 counties in Alabama. And we just happened to hit one and I didn't know. So,
but what was really funny about the campground is that on the weekend, it was empty when we got there. And then the weekend hit, and all of a sudden the place was full, and everyone's walking around with the red Solo cup. The dogs are running loose,
So
and
it's
everybody's
fun,
having a great time with the red Solo cups.
Yay.
Anywho, it was fun.
So, if you're in the chat, please say hi. Hi, Dale. Dale's my brother. That's my my other brother, Dale. That's my other brother, Dale.
Your brother from another mother?
No, it's my other brother, Dale. You would understand it if you knew the Newhart. What was it? Bob Newhart show from back in the day.
I was a little young to be watching that.
Yeah. So.
Although I do like his Saturday Night Live sketch. Stop it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, what we were going to talk about tonight is we were going to do a Q&A. So if you got questions, please throw them in the chat.
We'll take all your questions. All of them.
We'll take
all of them.
All of them. Hi, Denise. Because Dale said Denise is here too. Oh, and this new software, guys, this is pretty awesome. If you've got a question in the chat, guess what we can do?
We can send you a link.
We can like pop it up on the screen. Look.
What?
Dale said Denise is here too. Hi, Denise.
Or we can send them a link and they can click on the link and just come into the room with us and they can talk.
Yeah, we can do that too.
I don't think we're ready to try that yet.
Yeah.
We're going to experiment.
And another thing with this new software too is kind of cool is because we're streaming out and we're not having to bring a Zoom call in with 4 people on it and then Zoom call out to them and Zoom call and then also broadcast to YouTube at the same time using the same computer and the same internet. So it's doubling everything.
Donna says that, can you do Donna's? Highlight Donna's.
What one?
The one where she says she's glad we're settled and safe from storms. We're not quite. I will say we're not. There's a nasty storm headed this way. About 9 o'clock, we're going to be right in the middle of the red on the radar. But if what is predicted on the weather is accurate, that's very red with lots of rain and no tornadoes.
Right. So, yeah.
It was really funny on the campground rules here today, and it's a nice enough campground. The rules say in case of tornadoes, please secure your own safe haven, which means if
you're on your own.
We're bailing and we'll see you hopefully.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Okay, so here's the story. I wonder, is Renee on today? Well, Renee knows the story. She knows the whole thing. But so here's the thing. Yesterday, we were really tired. We got to our, we stayed at a really nice winery yesterday. But it was a long day of driving and travel days are really exhausting for whatever reason. Even if you only travel like 100 or 150 miles, they're really tiring. And so we went to bed really early. We were probably both asleep by 10 o'clock, like passed out cold. And all of a sudden at 2:30 this morning, I woke up and I was like, oh, it can't possibly be time to get up yet. And I looked at my phone. It said 2:30. I said, no how, no way. I kept trying to go back to sleep. Could not go back to sleep. So I picked up my phone and employed a really unhealthy habit. I do not recommend this. This is not good sleep hygiene or any. There's that thunder. Yeah. Not good sleep hygiene. But I didn't pop open Facebook, but I popped open my Messenger. And there was a message from a gal that I know only through a group on Facebook, but I know she lurks on my page. And she's from Alabama, which is where we were. And she said in her message, just said it straight out, storms in Alabama are not to be messed with. And there is a tornado headed your way. Seek shelter first thing in the morning and stay safe. And so then I popped up the weather forecast and I saw this window where the tornado alert was. And about this time, it's about 3. Scott's starting to wake up, going, "What the devil is that woman doing awake?" And I said, "Look at your weather app, because we've got a highway weather app just to plan like RV travel and semi truck travel in bad weather." And what do you know? He starts playing with it and he says, "You know what? To beat this storm, it says we should probably leave now, but we could also leave at 6 a.m. and beat the storm." So that's what happened. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning to a message that said, "You got a storm to beat." And I don't normally wake up at 2:30 in the morning. So one of my Facebook friends said that I've been connecting with the planet enough that I felt Mother Earth's vibration warning me, and guardian angels and all sorts of things. So, whatever. But I thought it was a little more than luck that I woke up to a message that hadn't been there when I went to sleep. And we had plenty of time to pack up well and shower and do all those things and still have coffee before we left. And we successfully outran that particular tornado.
Yep. And that worked out. Hey, we got a question, Denise. Thank you very much.
Denise? That says Dale. Oh, it says this is Denise.
Okay. Yeah. Says, "Do Bigfoot give birth?"
Why did you cover my face?
Because you're bothering me.
That's my job. All right, I'll let you go back to your question.
So let's see. Does this work better? Kind of. Yeah. You leaned over sideways too. That doesn't help. There we go. Okay. So we're talking. So she says, do Bigfoot give birth to multiple babies like humans can? My answer to that would be yes, because they are a mammal, and mammals have twins
and
triplets
and octuplets
and all the stuff. Yeah.
Has there ever been a Bigfoot octomom?
I don't know, but
do they have litters?
Now that I'm thinking of it, no, I think they're pretty much like most primates. They have one or two. I'm trying to think if I've ever heard a story of somebody sighting a Bigfoot with multiple children. I've seen quite a few with just one child. I'm gonna have to do some research on that.
And do great apes generally have multiple births? Or I think most of the time they have, the bigger primates have one.
Like elephants and stuff? Is that what you're talking
Primates.
about? Primates.
Like great apes.
They have twins.
Do they?
Okay. Chimps and stuff do, yeah. So anyway, we're going to try to hopefully get the ladies,
the she
squatchers in next week, hopefully. We have to check on their schedule. But now that we're in a kind of a stable place for a bit, and we got our internet back finally, and so that might help. That's what we're using right now.
Yes, we're using our own internet. We're not relying on park internet, which is always a crapshoot anyway.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. We wanted to go on.
Oh, this was hilarious.
We wanted to go on last week with the she squatchers. They were all set. We got to the campground. We were driving around the campground looking for a place to park, and I said, "Oh man, there's a site right there that's empty that we can pull into, that has it's underneath the internet tower, is sitting right, the pole is right next to the site, like 2 feet away." And I'm like, yes. So we get there, we try to log into the internet, and they said
nothing.
And I'm like, what's wrong? So she called the internet company, because they give you a number to call, and she called them to get set up, and they go, "Oh, that was struck by lightning like 2 days ago, and we haven't got it up yet." I'm like, crap. And the whole time we were there, the whole week, they never got it fixed. So.
Yeah. And by the time we found that out, we had actually set up and we were not about to unset up and try to find another spot.
Yeah.
It was just like, ugh. So anyway, Arley, Alabama is actually, that part of the country is quite beautiful. And
Mhm.
it's got some interesting stuff. If you're ever in the that area, Arley, Alabama, the big city nearby is called Cullman.
Mhm.
Visit the Ave Maria Grotto.
Yep. I think we put a video up on the
We
other
put a
channel.
video up on there, and we'll link it in the show notes if you want to, dear.
Uh-huh.
Because in addition to bigfooting, of course, like we like to find quirky and share worthy stuff. And the Ave Maria Grotto is a Catholic shrine that even this guy enjoyed going to.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yep. So, hey,
And-
Craig.
And like all Catholic shrines, well, all, what's the word I'm looking for? Places you can go visit, museums, shrines, whatever. Um, there's a word for that. Anyway, uh, but anyway,
All Catholic places.
no, all places you can go visit, like all
Tourist
attractions.
There you
Attractions.
go.
There we go. Like all attractions that you can go to. When we went to the Ave Maria Shrine, which is actually a monk. It's a monastery, monks.
Yeah, they've got quite a few. They've got a monastery there and a school, prep school, and
Yeah,
but they've got this grotto, which
Yeah.
is Italian for cave, by the way.
yeah. So they got this grotto, and apparently this monk, his name's gone out of my head
Brother Joseph Zuettel from Bavaria.
right now. This is my dictionary or my encyclopedia. I don't need Google. I got Hannah. But so he used to collect basically garbage, whatever people threw away and stuff like that. And he would make miniature buildings and stuff. Well, they weren't too miniature. They were pretty good size, but they were small,
They were miniatures.
They were miniatures. And he'd make miniature
villages,
villages,
and castles.
but what they were is they were like famous places, basically, mostly famous churches in Europe. But there was a few, like he made the Alamo.
He made the entire city of Jerusalem, including Bethlehem outside.
Yeah, and so it's a large area.
And he did some imaginary stuff, like he did like a fairy castle, and
Hansel and Gretel's house
with
the dragon under it.
Yeah,
it was kind of cool. But so anyway, what I was saying is, when you go through the whole thing, guess where you end up? You guessed it. The gift shop.
Yeah. We spent money there.
We did.
Because you know what? We did not buy alcohol from the monks. And everybody knows that monks are known for mead, right?
I know.
And for brewing.
But since they are in a dry county, they can't brew beer there.
So guess what they do? They roast coffee beans.
They make coffee.
And it is amazing coffee. It's like, oh my gosh, these monks got it going on. So we bought several bags of coffee, and they also have their own beehives, and they harvest their own wild honey.
So we got honey and coffee.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Anyway,
and you know what you can make with honey?
What?
Mead.
Yeah. So we are making our way slowly but surely to Maine for the summer once again, but we're going to do a lot more squatching this year than we did last year. In fact, we did hardly none last year, and this year we know where we're going to go. We know what we're going to do. We're going to be able to get cameras out and put them in the woods for long periods of time, and audio recorders. I'm going to do all this stuff this time.
And we're going to go up the rivers on canoes.
All this stuff.
We're going to do all the things.
So
because you're only going to work 2 days a week, period.
We are working our way to Maine right now. It's going to be about another
2 months.
Yeah, 2 months to get there. But
Denise, I'll see you in 2 months.
We're on the way to Maine. So meanwhile, we're doing squatching where we can. So we got a video coming out probably this week on this channel about our time we spent in the woods at Blankensh, no, Banks,
Bankhead National
Bankhead National
Forest.
Forest in Alabama. And it was kind of fun. We were driving through. Now, this is kind of neat. This is what happens all the time, and I love it. Is we were driving through the forest.
And it's a tangly forest.
It is. And
wow.
we were driving through the forest, and we were finding places we could pull off and hike into the woods. And it kind of ticked me off a little bit because one of their major trails were hiking trail was closed, and I think it was COVID closed. So I'm like, Argh. But anyway, they so we were driving around in the forest, finding different like logging spurs and places that dead end, and of course we had just been through that big windstorm, so because of the tornadoes to the south, 2 hours to the south, the wind was blowing pretty hard, so there was a lot of down trees across the roads and stuff. So we ran into that a few times. But what was kind of funny was we were driving back out, and this motorcycle came up behind me, and then he passed me on the road, and then he pulls over and stops, and then I drive by him. Then we went back out on the highway, actually clear out on the highway, and then turned and took the next dirt road off to the woods. So we took that road, and we went as far as we could until that dead end. Oh no, Hannah didn't mute her. Okay.
Yes, I did.
You unmuted it somehow by magic. Anyway, so we I turn around, and here comes that motorcycle, and he pulls up, and he goes, "Are you guys actually looking for Bigfoot?" Because the truck. And I'm like, "Yeah, we are." And he goes, "Huh? Have you seen any?" And I like, "Yeah." And I showed him my pictures and stuff I've got on the phone and stuff I found, and which is usual. I mean, I do that like almost every day with somebody who stops at a gas station or whatever. And so I did that, and then he goes, "Huh?" He goes, "This forest here is pretty big, and I lived here my whole life, and he's from Alabama, he's native." And he goes, "This is what happened to me a few years ago." And I happened to have my audio recorder. I didn't have we had set up the camera because we were going to shoot a little blip. And I happened to have the audio recorder in my hand. So I just kind of looked down and clicked record. So I got the audio of his encounter. So we're going to add that to that video probably. So that'd be kind of cool.
All right. Yes, Craig, I agree. Coffee is generally better than alcohol. Generally. Yes. Generally. Although, I will say, the winery where we stopped last night, that was some pretty tasty wine that we had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what's our plan in Alabama? Are there any areas? Oh, you need to click that. That's Donna's. There any areas you want to visit that have high activity? The other side of Bankhead National Forest, actually. We were on like the ATV trail.
Yeah, side. we were okay. So Bankhead National Forest, it's in the northern part of Alabama. I mean, way north. I mean, almost to the border, in the north end, near a town called Arley, Alabama, and we were in the southern part of the Bankhead National Forest. And after talking to the guy on the motorcycle, he said we should go to the north side. That's where they see
the other side of 33.
The other side of 33. So that's a plan in the future.
Yeah, there's more stuff in Alabama that we do want to
that we do.
That was thunder and lightning
or something. I don't know. Yeah, we're under a tornado watch now. So if you see us jump every once in a while, like we had something hit the side of the trailer really hard a little bit ago, or hit the roof. I'm like, are there tree limbs blowing? I don't know.
Angry squirrels.
I think they're angry squirrels.
But
it was Bigfoot. It was a rock.
Anyway, yeah, we do want to go back to Bankhead National Forest. There have been a lot of sightings there.
There has, and he wasn't the only one that gave me a story. So yeah, we had a few in the campground. People came up to me and gave me some stories. So and
apparently in Alabama, that's about the part of the country where Bigfoot start getting mean.
True, and that's another thing. I did hear that most of the stories we got in Alabama were frightening. They said had, it wasn't just the normal rocks and sticks and stuff. They said people get hit by rocks, people get yelled at.
Yeah, the Bigfoot don't turn and run. They stare you down.
Yeah.
Like you're on our turf. Get the blip out.
Mm-hmm. So Craig said,
do you think they? Oh, look, you put it up. Do you think they have more boogers down there than we have Sasquatch up here?
Yeah, and in fact, okay, so here's the deal. That when we stopped to film that little blip, Hannah was actually reading a story from the area that we got, and it was so funny. She didn't know they were called boogers, so she called it something else, buggers or something
that's
like that.
because it was spelled buggers. I know how to read. It's not my fault if some reporter doesn't know how to spell.
The guy who reported it typed bugger instead of booger, but I know he meant booger because that's what they're called. And Craig, so what I think
people learn to spell your cryptids. Thank you.
So what I think is, by order of reports, by number of reports we get, believe it or not, there are more reports in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama than there is in Washington, Idaho, and Oregon. There is almost twice as many reports. The big thicket area in Texas has more forest, more untouched forest than the entire state of California does. So if you think about that, they have a bigger range, a lot more area down here because Texas is a big place, and Louisiana, and there's a lot of unpopulated places. Trust me,
yeah.
we drove all the way from just driving from where we were in Emory, Texas, to where we're at now in South Carolina. We're in Fair Place, South Carolina, right now. Driving between Emory and Fair Play, we drove through. Well, it's the bottom part, the southern part of the Appalachians. I mean, it's just miles and miles and miles of just forest and trees and sticks and forest and swamps and water and water and water and water. And so there isn't many houses here.
No. And
I mean, we'd see the sporadic house here and there, and but
it's not hospitable to humans.
Right. So when you what we notice is when you get into a populated area, it's fairly populated. Well, especially Atlanta was. Ugh.
I liked it. One of my favorite channels, he was talking about how nice Georgia was, except for Atlanta.
Except for Atlanta, yeah. And I used to live in Georgia, so I've lived 2 or 3 years in Georgia. So
do you concur with that?
I concur with that. Atlanta, not good. Anyway, but so there's a lot more untouched forest down here than I think there is even in the Northwest. Probably not Canada, because 90% of Canada is not populated, but down here. And so there's actually, report-wise, there's a lot more reports here than there is up in the Northwest, to answer your question, Craig. And yes, they're called boogers.
Fine.
Not buggers. Okay. Wood boogers.
Okay.
And I think they're meaner. And another thing too, the reports we get down here, and even the Native American accounts down here. What was the tribe down here that it was? Oh, gosh. Anyway, I'll be talking about that in the video. But even the tribes down here, the names for them are scary. They're like, most of them translated from the native language to English literally means cannibal. So, and down here in the South, um, like when we were in Falk and talking to people in Falk, because we talked to a lot of people down there. Um, because we're at a Bigfoot convention. There's a lot of Bigfooters there. Um, down south, a lot of even the old timers down there in Falk area would say that, Mama used to tell me not go in the woods at night because the boogers will get you. That's a common thing that they do. So,
All right. So,
so
do they have more down here? Probably.
probably yes. And they're meaner and they're skinnier.
Yeah. Because what are you going to eat in the swamp? When we were in Point at Tawakoni, we
Point,
heard a
Texas.
crocodile. We were walking around the lake and we heard that, that weird croc sound that you used to hear on what was the crocodile hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, everything's mean down here.
Mm,
You still want to move to Texas.
I do.
I'm not sold yet. All right. So, Dale asks, have you had a chance to do a townhouse? I think you mean a town hall meeting while you've been traveling? No, because you know why.
The word we can't say, I think I already said it once, but
Because no public gatherings.
yeah. But if we didn't plan on going to Maine, we would be honest with you, we'd still be in Texas. And Texas is a free country at this point. So
Yep.
and that was kind of nice. But no, we haven't, but we plan to. And like we have that meeting set up in later on in Maine, we have the one at the campground. So
Oh, that was weird.
what, you covered it up?
No, I wanted to show this.
Okay.
After you're done talking about what we're doing.
Go ahead.
All right. So Donna asks, could you let us know the average temperature and weather in the states you are in at the time? Curious about migration in southern states. So I looked this up real quick, and since Alabama's coming kind of in the middle. Now this year, of course, has just been like something out of the Twilight Zone with winter blizzards and sub-zero and crazy. But generally speaking, this part of the country during the winter, your average temperature is 50 degrees. With it's been much more precipitation this year, but you might get your winter rains. And of course, you've got things like, everyone knows about the winter pattern of hurricanes and tornadoes that hits this part. But generally speaking, the weather in the South is 50 degrees on average in the winter.
Right. We've had days now, of course, we got stuck in the snow apocalypse of Texas, but they said that cold,
that was 126 years ago.
126 years is the last time that happened. So that's kind of a freak event, but normally we've been averaging right around in the 50s at night. We've had up to, like, day before yesterday,
it was like 90
it was
degrees.
90 degrees during the day.
For just a little bit, it just like hit 9, and I think that was closer to like where the sun was. The truck was parked in the sun, but I had to change my clothes yesterday to be cool, and it's hot and sticky. It's very humid.
Yeah, it's very humid. I mean, I lived here in Georgia for like 2 or 3 years, twice. I can say that. I was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, which is in Columbus. And well, I'd went to basic training in airborne school and infantry training and RIP and all that stuff. I did that in Fort Benning. That's where I went to basic training. So I spent almost a year in training in there in July, which was horrible. And then I got stationed over in Europe and blah, blah, blah. And then later on, I got restationed back in Fort Benning for 2 or 3 years at the training center, and where I became a teacher.
So
all that to say, it is stupid humid. I remember, you take a shower, you get dressed, you walk outside, you're drenched, and people think that's just, oh, you're kidding, but it's not. Literally, your sweat just,
Okay,
it's
moving
horrible.
on.
So
I don't enjoy thinking about your sweat.
I don't think so.
Sorry.
Oh, and congratulations, Craig.
All
Yes.
right.
Um,
Yay for peace of mind.
yay for peace of mind.
Okay, so
I could say something, but
so Gordon, the further north you come, the less freedom of gathering and such things you'll find. Wish I yeah. Well, so here's the thing. We are hoping that by the time we get up there, some of the more paranoid leaderships will have followed some of the less paranoid leaderships in the country. Is that a good way to say it?
Sure, why
I
not?
don't know. I do know that my business conference, we have an in-person, I'm going to an in-person business conference at the end of July. Of course, it is in Atlanta. God only knows why they scheduled it in Atlanta. So hopefully by this summer.
a lot of the southern states are opening up. I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Florida's been open for a
Florida's
long
been
time.
open for a while. Texas is open now.
Alabama's pretty relaxed.
pretty relaxed. I mean, so
basically, like in South Carolina, there is no state mask mandate. The state, like the governor, is leaving it up to individual counties, municipalities. Figure it out for yourself if you want to. But
and for us, we tend to hang out in the small areas because we're in the forest. We try to get into
we
the
stay
forest.
away from cities.
Yeah, we're camping in the woods. We're camping in small towns. I mean, little dinky towns most of the time.
And honestly, rural America is done with all this.
Yeah, they've been done with it for a while.
They never really went there. Actually.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, and I'm going to be a straight shooter here. We have been in many small towns and many small stores with no plastic shields, no signs on the door, no masks, no nothing.
And if you come in with one, they aren't going to throw a fit, but
the cashiers don't have it.
They'll have the sign up because it's a state mandate, but they're not observing.
Yeah, in fact, we went to last night. We went out and what did it say on the door?
It's at we went out last night. It said
this is in Alabama.
If you are concerned about getting sick, you should probably consider the risks and benefits of coming in, because they didn't have anything. It was just
they said if you have a problem, stay home.
Yeah,
but because we're not going to do anything. It's really kind of cool.
But all the staff was in masks, but
they were. But I because it's the mandate for restaurants. But anyway,
and that's okay. I don't mind. They can keep that if masks.
I know.
Wanna,
so here's something, and I hope I don't.
You're gonna get banned. You're gonna say something to get yourself.
Well,
banned.
This is my opinion, and you can take it as it will. Here's a problem I've had with this whole lockdown stuff, and I know we didn't even need to get on this subject, but
you can't help yourself. He
Hannah,
can't help himself.
Hannah and I both got it way back in February of last year. Not this February, the 2020 February. When it first hit.
Before anyone knew what it was.
Before anybody knew what it was, because we had lived in a small town. We had a local doctor that was over in China, in Wuhan, China. And he came back from there. And I think he's the one that probably brought it to Oregon. But anyway, and then he started seeing patients, and then our whole town half the kids were out in school
for weeks at a time.
So we both got it way back then. And here's my problem with it, is because we've had antibodies now for over a year. The only thing I can share with you is antibodies. I know a little bit about medicine because, I was in that business in the military for a long time. So bacteria that we have to breathe that keeps you from getting sick is blocked by the mask, but the disease itself is not. So you're basically
this is going to be marked as false information. By the way,
it is already. So But what I'm saying is the bacteria that's in me is actually spreading antibodies. That's how you get, what do they call that?
Herd immunity.
Herd immunity.
All right.
So
Can we go
we
back
should
to
have been free for,
Bigfoot for
yeah, we can go
F's
back to
sake?
Bigfoot. So we should have, I mean, we should have, the people who's had it, I'm saying, should have been free for a long time because they would just help everybody
Here,
else.
highlight Craig's.
Which one?
Eastern Oregon.
What is it?
Eastern Oregon appears to be rebelling. Eastern Oregon might be Western Idaho here in a bit.
Yeah, I heard that. Rebuilding?
Rebelling.
Yes. Yes. I saw, oh, I'll put that back up because I saw a deal. My mom lives in Baker City. So, and I talk to her on a regular basis. But, yeah, we saw that deal where Baker, was it Baker Umatilla? Was it Umatilla? I know
Baker,
Grant.
Umatilla, Grant, Malheur, and
the one over where your mom
Kearney.
is. Kearney.
No, not my mom. They're different. They're going
Oh.
south. Harney.
Harney?
Yes.
Yeah, all those counties have actually got it on the referendum to become parts of Idaho now.
I'm
So-
sorry, Craig. EOU keeps ruining Union County for y'all.
Sorry. Move to Baker. It's not that far. Okay. In fact, you can take up my old Bigfooting grounds there. I'll tell you where to go.
Yes, yes, Gordon. The mandates are still firmly entrenched in the Northeast. Let's keep breathing in all that negativity and transmuting it into love. And by the time we get there, love will have won.
Yep.
Oh, Union 2. All right. Go
Union 2? Did they
Yep,
say that?
Craig just said Union 2.
Oh, awesome. Woo-hoo.
Yay! Western Idaho. Greater Idaho.
Greater Idaho, they're calling it. Yes.
So
That'll be good.
So
Because, oh, wait. If they
what are they going to do with the Ore-Ida plant? Are they just going to be Ida potatoes?
Yeah. Is it going to be? Yeah, it's not going to be Ore-Ida potatoes anymore, is it? It's going to be Ida potatoes. Oh, I never thought about that. They're going to have to rebrand Ore-Ida potatoes to Ida potatoes.
Well, you know, we've been wanting to kick Ontario into Idaho for decades anyway.
So,
all right. This has nothing to do with Bigfoot. Okay, you want to know the honest truth? We got nothing tonight. It's nothing. It's a travel day.
Yeah, that's why we wanted to do a Q&A, and we wanted to try out the new StreamYard stuff.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah, and I'm glad we got our old locals and normal people here. Thank you very much, all our buddies and our friends.
We might not even post this on YouTube after it's done.
Yeah, I may just make it private. But anything, let's see, any other Bigfoot stuff? Nope. But something else this stuff will allow us to do is we're going to be able to simulcast this.
Oh, yes. So, this is exciting.
You want to?
Well, I can.
Yeah, okay.
So with this software, we will be able to not just have this stream on YouTube, but we will be able to simulcast it on both of our Facebook pages at the same time. You don't have a LinkedIn page, but we'll be able to also stream it on live on YouTube. So, you know, between the two of us, we've got several thousand, not YouTube, Facebook. We've got several thousand Facebook followers. And so we'll be able to go live on Facebook on multiple pages all at the same time. Can we simulcast on the Paddy Wagon YouTube channel at the same time? So we can go like 2 Facebook pages and 2 YouTube channels all at the same time. So that'll be fun. Okay. All right. Craig says that if they have any potato fields by Boise, they're all filling up with houses that all look the same at an alarming rate. Yes,
that's very true.
They're getting Californicated.
They are. But something else, Craig, I've noticed is, you know, living in Baker City, is there's a lot more potato sheds going up
in Eastern Oregon,
in around Baker County, basically. Than there used to be. So a lot of those big cattle ranches and hay fields are now potatoes.
Now potatoes.
Yeah, now potatoes.
Yeah. Anyway, so anything else for the good of Bigfoot's order here?
So Oh yeah, and something else I wanted to say too with this new software, and something we might be able to do with it is over on our Patreon page. What are you doing?
I'm going somewhere else. You keep talking.
Over on our
But I just
Patreon page. Hope you didn't lose it. Okay. Um, we're going to be able to do some live streaming on the Patreon page itself. So we'll be able to bring people in, and then we'll be able to uh, actually do live chats with you guys face to face,
yes, we're gonna do Zoom
like a Zoom
chats
type chat
on
on
Patreon.
Patreon.
Okay.
And this is for I gotta.
I just threw something new into our
I know.
show tonight.
All right. So Hannah just messed me up completely.
I do my job so well.
All
I
right.
do. I'm brilliant.
So
All right, now you're showing.
I'm almost there. Hold on.
All right, so we have got great news. Let's we're gonna shift gears here
Okay, here we go.
to try and salvage what remains of our
Oh,
hour.
there I can't see. There you go.
Okay, so on squatchamerica.com /branded
This is for Dale.
t-shirts. Dale, we got our entire our entire shirt line is up and updated. We have got 3 different shirts. We've got a long sleeve shirt, we've got a short sleeve shirt, and Denise, we have a ladies cut.
That's for Denise. And
click on that one and show them all the colors. Click.
what is your favorite podcast and
Oh.
YouTube Bigfoot researcher to listen to? Okay, I want to talk to that. Okay, thank
First,
you.
we want to look at the t-shirts.
Thank you, Donna, by the way.
Thank you, Donna, for giving us something semi-intelligent to talk about. God help us.
There we go.
All right, the regular t-shirt comes in light olive,
Tan,
sand, white, and heather gray.
Woo!
I think the heather gray is the nicest, but
no, I like the green. I'm
do.
an army olive drab green kind of guy.
All right, let's go to the long sleeve t-shirt. You have to get X out of that. By the way, that comes in sizes small to 3X. Okay, long sleeve t-shirt comes in dark olive and
White.
Mm-hmm. And then the ladies t-shirt comes in white. Sorry, it just looked really bad in pink and blue and
the logo doesn't.
It doesn't.
The red, white, and blue logo doesn't look good on
some weird colors.
So
anyway, branded t-shirts, we are expanding that line all the time. Just FYI.
Okay, and see how quick and easy we can go to another page.
Yay, that's so much easier than before. All right, so let's answer Donna's question. She asks, what are your favorite podcasts and YouTube Bigfoot researchers to listen to?
All right. This is interesting. Okay, my favorite ones. Actually, to be on, I am actually making a video for the channel here about the best movies, not movies, but documentaries to watch about Bigfoot. And I've been working on that for a couple weeks. So that'll be out in the next couple weeks. But the YouTubers is your favorite one to watch is probably Squatch America.
Of course.
And if you go back and look at some of our older videos, I mean, I've got some of
He's a really good video. He's a good video maker. And it just...
Well, not the older ones are that great, but the newer ones are better. But anyway, the information on the older ones are good. And some of the stories we've got too on some of the older ones are not really cool. Like Bigfoot eating poop. That's one of my favorites. But anyway, if you want to hear stories, there's a couple of them that I watch on a regular basis that basically people send in reports to these people and they just read them on the air. My 2 favorites for that content and to get stories, because I'm using that for narratives, about how Bigfoot lives and what people experience with these things, is one's called Buckeye Bigfoot. She has a really cool channel. She's really good at reading stories, and people send her a lot of stories. The other one is called howtohunt.com or how to hunt on YouTube.
He is really good.
And that's another one where people send him stories, and he has a little bit more of a no BS kind of thing, and he does get into the government conspiracy stuff a little bit, but
He's a little bit of an anarchist, just a touch.
yeah,
Just a
but
touch.
but the stories are really really good. Okay, if you want to hear about cryptids around the world, um, the one I really listen to is, oh my gosh, it's out of my head. Ben, what's his name? Ben. Um, he's actually shouted us out once or twice too. I'm going to look it up here real quick. Um,
Oh, didn't he do like? Didn't
the
he?
cryptids per region or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, Another one, if you wanted something in the Northwest in that area, Colorado, not Colorado, Rocky Mountain, Rocky Mountain Bigfoot Association. Look them up. Uh, they're pretty cool. What is his name? Ben something. Ben. Uh, Hopefully, I can find it. It's channel. Oh my gosh. No. Uh, what is it called?
He's struggling.
Cryptid.
ID, honey.
Crypt, ah, sorry. Cryptid. I,
I'm his dictionary and his encyclopedia,
and
and
my spell
his
check.
thesaurus.
Ben
And
Miller.
Ben Miller. You were so, but yeah, Ben
Uh,
Miller.
Ben Miller. That's his name. Uh, he has a whole series where he does uh, all the cryptids in every state. Um, he's really good. Okay, and then there's another one that is really good, and he does not just Bigfoot but cryptids also. Is his name's Bob Gimlin. It's the
Not the Bob
not
Gimlin.
the Bob Gimlin. It's another station where his name is actually Bob Gimlin, but he's not the
He's
Bob.
the different Bob
A
Gimlin.
different Bob Gimlin.
Any
So
relation?
probably not. But anyway, but those are the ones I usually pay attention to. Some of the other ones get a little crazy. I mentioned I do kind of follow uh, Colorado Bigfoot, but I can only take his stuff for short amount of time because he goes out in the woods a lot. He's got a big following. He's got a lot of people watch him, and he's all right. But to me, I mean, every single tree that fell in the forest is a stick structure. Every one of them.
I don't
So
think he would have known what to do with himself at the Bankhead, the part of Bankhead that we were at last week.
yes, we found a tree.
Oh, every other bend in the road.
Yeah.
There
Well, of
was
course,
uprooted trees, and there were some that were pretty suspicious, but there had been so much rain in the area, and the ground had been so soggy, and then the high winds, they were just the wind was uprooting trees and turning them on end. um, we had an interesting experience in the Bankhead National Forest with the dog. All right, I did it. It's too bad Renee's not on tonight because we let the dog go in the forest.
let her run around for a bit.
She found the biggest mud puddle she could find and rolled in that mud puddle and rolled in that mud puddle, and then she went and it looked like fresh autumn there because the leaves were all over the ground, and then she found every pile of leaves she could jump in and jumped in the leaves and ran for miles and ran away from us, and finally Scott said, I'm just gonna go back to the truck.
And it worked.
It worked. She came back. She's over here sleeping.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that was fun. She brought ticks back with her. I was so mad. Brat.
Okay. Oh, and there's another one. Um, Bigfoot Odyssey.
Hi, Galen. Galen Scarborough's from Baker.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, Bigfoot Odyssey has got 6 research groups out right now in Florida trying to get a picture of one.
Awesome.
Florida ones, they'll kill you too.
Yeah.
They're mean old buggers. I got
Yeah.
it right, buggers. Boogers.
Boogers. Another one too I forgot to mention that I do follow too is called Squatch Central. That's another one who they basically get reports from people. And that's I was just looking what I'm looking through my subscriptions right now on YouTube to see which ones I watch the most.
He's got 475,000 subscriptions, so there's no way.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think which ones I actually watch the most.
Well, I got nothing left. I can't entertain these people anymore, so hurry it up. We're getting lots of empty space.
So, New School Podcast says, how about Squatchman Craig Yost?
Greg Yost?
Craig Yost.
U School Podcast. I don't. Are you new on our channel?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
we have a poor new victim here. This is not representative of what we normally do. Just saying, I'm apologizing for this whole evening.
So, yeah.
The best thing about this episode is my hair.
Yep.
So we will. Have you watched Squatchman Greg Yost?
I haven't. That's one I will check out.
We will. We do like to check out new things. I could pull up Spoonflower and have people vote for their favorite Bigfoot fabric swatch.
I know.
Denise, what do you think about Bigfoot aprons? So something happened while we were on the road yesterday.
And this is also not Bigfoot.
You know what? You got nothing. That's YOST, dear. Okay, it's right there. Anyway, yesterday when we got to the winery and parked, I came into the house to set up and discovered that one of the valances over the windows had fallen off the wall. And we decided that rather than try to put it back up, that without the valance, the whole room opened up so nicely that we're just going to put curtains up. So I've been looking for Bigfoot fabric to make curtains out of. And on spoonflower.com, they don't sponsor us. They don't even know who we are, but I like them. They've got about 10 different Bigfoot fabric prints. My personal favorite was Bigfoot. It was called the Creative Bigfoot, and it was Bigfoot taking pictures and Bigfoot painting and sculpting and anyway, but he didn't like that one. So are you about done?
Mm-hmm.
I can't entertain them anymore.
Oh, okay.
So, Donna likes the aprons. Now, should they be waist aprons or butcher aprons or those Amish style aprons that kind of have the cap sleeves and they go front and back and tie on the sides? Which ones would you like? Hey, look, if you can't entertain your audience here, I will take over and we will talk aprons and throw pillows.
Yeah, we're not.
Oh, Gordon got 3 different Bigfoot Hawaiian shirts for sale. Oh, we need to get you some Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway.
Awesome.
All right. Now what are you saying?
Now what am I saying?
It is 9:00 Eastern. It is time to say thank you so much for putting up with us this week, as always.
I know. So anyway, just to let you know, we're going
to try to get She Squatchers back on next week.
Yeah, we're going to have the She Squatchers on next week.
Jason, what's his name? Kenzie will be
Jason
coming
Kinsey
back
will
on
be coming
soon with
back
his next
with
episode.
his next episode, and then we're gonna have, of course, then we're gonna have our squatching trip in Bankhead, and I'm gonna have the video about the best documentaries coming up.
In the meantime, he needs to go to bed. I can tell.
Yes, we've only been up since 3:00 this
2:30.
morning.
2:30.
2:30 this morning.
And let me tell you right now that nothing is better to re-energize you in the middle of the afternoon than a good yoga nidra session, which I had.
And we're going to.
He's just going to ignore that.
I am. We're going to bring you some South Carolina Bigfoot stuff here.
Yes.
We're going to be here for 2 weeks, so we're going to
at least figure out what they've got going on down here.
Yeah, figure out what they got going on here, and then we're on our way to
North Carolina.
Yeah, no, actually, we're going to go to.
Actually, we're going to North Carolina.
I know, but is that the Chesapeake Bay? No.
No, that's Virginia. Chesapeake Bay is in Virginia. We're headed North Carolina to Virginia to.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple weeks here. Then we're going to do a week in North Carolina, a week at Chesapeake Bay.
Then a week in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
And then a week at Old Orchard Beach.
In Maine.
Dale and Denise, you're free to come join us at Old Orchard Beach.
Just saying.
We'll send you a link. You can book a spot. And then we'll be back in Millinocket for the summer.
Yep. And we're gonna go find us some Mount Katahdin Bigfoots.
We're gonna practice on some easier trails before we tackle that bastard again.
Yeah. Well, actually, we'll just say we're gonna go find us a Squatch
somewhere
in the North Maine woods.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if he's on Mount Katahdin, he doesn't want found.
There's a reason they call Mount Katahdin the Devil's Mountain or the Evil Mountain, or that's what the natives call it. What was it? Dale, help me out. Is it the Devil's Mountain? The Great Evil?
Yeah, it's evil. It kicked our butts.
Okay.
All right. We love you guys. So thank you so much for watching us, for putting up with us. When we haven't had enough sleep and we have nothing for you, it's like you're our tribe and we adore you. So as always, our job is.
I don't even have that slide in
Our
here.
job is to investigate the unexplained.
Not to explain the uninvestigated.
So until next week, go out, keep it squatchy, and
go out and find Bigfoot.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, it's going to show us for a second.